9:30 on Christmas Eve. As I crossed the long entrance hall of my house, on my way from the dining room where we had just enjoyed the first of our happy festive meals, towards the drawing room and the fire around which my family were now assembled, I paused, and then, as I often do of an evening, I went to the front door, opened it, and stepped outside.
This is intended to be of interest, I take it.
Why, yes, of course.
Then why announce it as if it's the fat stock prices?
I'm afraid I don't understand.
We must see this house. We must see this entrance hall. We must taste and smell this happy festive meal.
But that's impossible.
No. Draw on your emotions and on our imaginations.
Forgive me, I'm not an actor.
Again, try it again.
It was 9:30 on Christmas Eve. As I crossed along...
Oh, you will excuse me. I know that what you read holds particular significance for you, that it may even cause you some distress, but I must implore you, have sympathy for your audience.
Sir?
Just now, we are alone in this theatre. These rows of empty seats are unlikely to protest as you hum and mumble your way through your lines. But, believe me, sir, if you were to deliver them thus, before an actual audience, you would see them, one by one, expire with boredom. Now, life, meaning, energy.
It was 9:30 on Christmas Eve. As I crossed along entrance
Now,
hall...
long entrance hall.
That's right.
Why long?
Because it is.
No, but have sympathy for your audience. Would they be interested in its length?
I'm very wishing you.
Oh, stay where you
I could never have
are.
come.
You did, however. And you have paid me for the day. I have no intention of not giving you full value.
Yes, but-
No! Attempt to leave and I'll leap upon you and force you to recite the sonnets in their entirety.
Yes,
No. We'll make an actor of you yet.
I have no wish to be an actor. All I wish, implore, is that this tale of mine be told. Be told and led to rest, God willing, so that I may sleep without nightmares.
Which is why you came to me,
Yes,
as one practiced in these things.
yes.
As one who will impart to you the rudiments of public speaking, offer advice as to expression and delivery, and above all, instill in you the confidence to stand up and make a go of it.
Confidence?
Yes, confidence. Now then, 9:30, Christmas Eve. Excitement, anticipation, children asleep with stockings tied to their bedposts. A happy, contented atmosphere, and above all, at peace.
It was 9:30 on Christmas Eve. As I crossed along, it was 9:30 on Christmas Eve. As I crossed the no, it was 9:30 on Christmas Eve.
Oh, what time was it?
9:30.
Not on Christmas Eve, my child. Oh, good gracious.
I'm clearly with you.
Oh, look, easy. It doesn't come in 5 minutes. Do you think to stand there and tell your tale and have your audience hang upon your every word as if that's all it takes? But in which case, why did you come to me for help? So that I'd say, wonderful, marvelous, without a flaw. Oh, well, believe me, sir, performance is an art acquired with tears and time. I would be very grateful, therefore, if every time I go to offer some advice, you don't fold up your manuscript and make as if to leave the theatre.
Advice?
Yes, advice.
It sounds more like criticism.
Before the day is through, it is likely to sound even more so.
May I just say, it's not a performance that I wish to give. No, I think we are a misunderstanding in that respect. I wish to speak it, no more, for my friends and family, for those who need to know. I am not a performer. I have no pretensions to be, nor inclination. But those most terrible things that happen to me, I have to let them be told, for my health and reason.
You say you're not a performer.
Truly.
Well, here you have a manuscript which on estimate will take 5 hours to recite. Now, if you, as an acknowledged non-performer, should stand before an actual audience, however friendly, and drone at them for longer than it takes to play King Lear, well, I trust you'll be unsurprised if by the end of it they're either fast asleep or at your throat.
5 hours.
At least.
5 hours, it's impossible. No. It must be told. I can't carry the burden any longer. It must be told.
It was 9:30 on Christmas Eve. As I opened my front door and stepped outside, I smelled at once and with a lightning heart that there had been a change in the weather. All the previous week we had thin, chilling rain and a mist that lay low about the house and over the countryside. But now, the dampness and fogs had stolen away like thieves into the night. The sky was pricked over with stars, the full moon rimmed with a halo of frost. Upstairs, 3 children slept with stockings tied to their bedposts. There was something in the air that night. That my peace of mind was about to be disturbed and memories awakened that I had thought forever dead, I had, naturally, no idea. I took a last look at the frosty darkness, sighed contentedly, and went in to the happy company of my family. I became aware that I had interrupted the others in conversation. "We're telling ghost stories! Just the thing for Christmas Eve!" And so they were, vying with each other to tell the horridest, most spine-chilling tale. They told of dripping stone walls in uninhabited castles, of ivy-clad monastery ruins by moonlight, of locked inner rooms and secret dungeons, dark charnel houses and overgrown graveyards, of howlings and shriekings, groanings and scuttlings. Oh, this was a sport! A high-spirited and harmless game among young people. There was nothing of which I could possibly disapprove, nothing to torment or trouble me. I didn't want to seem like a killjoy, old, stodgy, unimaginative. I turned my head away so that none of them could see my discomfort. "And now it's your turn!" No, I said. "Nothing from me." "You must know at least one ghost story. Everyone knows one." Yes. Yes, indeed. All the time I had been listening to their ghoulish, lurid inventions, the one thought that had been in my mind, the only thing I could have said was no. No. You have none of you any idea. It is not like this. Not so blood-curdling and crude, not so laughable. The truth is quite other, and altogether more terrifying. Nothing from me. No story from me. I walked quickly from the room and from the house, my heart pounding, my breathing short. I had always known in my heart that the experience would never leave me, that it was woven into my very fibers. Yes, I had a story, a true story, a story of haunting and evil, fear and confusion, horror and tragedy, but it was not a story to be told around the fireside on Christmas Eve. And then I thought you might recite your piece from Hamlet.
Hamlet?
Yes, some say that ere against that season comes.
Yes. You then, for the purpose of the reading, become me.
Yes, quite so. You, for the purpose of the performance, you draw on your memories. You play the people that you met along the way, those who had their part in your story.
Sir, I am not a performer.
Sir, I know.
And this must not be entertainment. Those most terrible things that happen to me must not be treated as amusement or diversion. I insist, sir.
And I insist, sir, that you consider your audience. Oh. No matter how horrible, if your story is to be told, it must be presented in a way that is remotely palatable. Look, you've come to me for advice and assistance. You must trust me. Yes? So, from here, if you please, and let us show that we mean business.
Some say that every...
No! Your cue is horror and tragedy, but it was not a story to be told around the fireside on Christmas Eve.
Some say that ever against that season comes, wherein our Saviour's birth is celebrated, this bird of dawning singeth all night long. And then they say, no spirit there, stir abroad, the nights are wholesome then, no planet strike, no fairy takes, nor witch hath power to charm, so hallowed and so gracious is a time.
Those lines came into my head as if from heaven, and a great peace came upon me. I recalled that the way to banish an old ghost that continues its hauntings is to exorcise it. Well then, mine should be exorcised. I would tell my tale. I would set it down on paper with every care and in every detail, and then, that they might know and that I might be forever purged of it, I would relive it. Through the telling, I prayed a simple, heartfelt prayer for strength and perseverance to continue while I completed this most agonizing of tasks. The first part, the writing, I have done. Now comes the telling. I pray God's protection on us all. Good morning.
Good morning.
I trust you slept well?
Yes, thank you, yes.
No nightmares then?
Not too bad, thank you.
Yeah, but we're not clear of it yet, huh?
I fear I never will be.
We'll soon have you playful as a lamb again in no time. You mark my words. Now, did you study as I asked you to?
As best I could, but you must forgive me. This is not my forte.
We'll make an actor of you yet.
I have no wish to be an actor.
No, but for the sake of our audience, can we at least please try?
This audience you speak of, it is to be my friends and family only. You don't intend to make a public spectacle?
Oh, good heavens, no. Your family, your friends, perhaps the odd theatre manager. Now, scene, London. Interior of the offices of the solicitors Bentley, Hay, Sweetman and Bentley. And I have a little surprise for you.
Oh, what's that?
Mr. Barnes!
Recorded sound.
Remarkable invention, is it not?
Extraordinarily true to life. I could swear I was in a London street, attempting to negotiate the thundering traffic.
And so, Mr. Kipps, will our audience, there's no need to speak of cars and horses and noise and bustle, no need in fact for so many words. Just let that recorded sound be heard and they're there, transported.
You will excuse me. The scene is to be in an office, is it not?
Yes, quite, sir.
Why do we have London's traffic flowing through an office?
Why indeed, Mr. Barnes?
Remarkable.
The miracle of science and the hand of Bounce. He's particularly good at this sort of thing. So, to work. I play you. You play the clerk. I enter briskly and you're already at work, yes?
Yes, but you must forgive me. It's not
Not your forte. It won't become so unless we at least attempt it. So, yes? Can we just run through it as we did last night? Thank you! A foul day, Toes.
Yes, Mr. Kipps, he sniffs. Yes, Mr. Kipps.
November, dreariest month of the year, lowering to the spirits.
Yes, Mr. Kipps, this fog don't help.
The thickest of London pea soupers. A foul, evil-smelling fog that smeared and stained. I worked at some dull details for the conveyance of property leases, forgetful, for the moment, of the fog pressing against my window like some furled beast at my back.
Mr. Bentley wishes to see you, sir.
Straight away?
Straight away, sir, if you would.
That sniff, incidentally, occurred every 20 seconds or so, for which reason Toes was confined, for the most part, to a cubbyhole in the outer lobby.
What now?
Well, now you play Bentley.
Oh, yes, but when it pass, will I do?
Yes. We'll make an actor of you yet.
I wish to be an actor.
Apologies. Carry on.
Sit ye down, Arthur. Sit ye down. I don't think I ever told you about the extraordinary Mrs. Drablow. Mrs. Alice Drablow of Eelmarsh House. Dead, don't you know?
Oh, it needs something. Yeah. Try these, for a bit of character. Yes.
I don't think I ever told you about the extraordinary Mrs. Drablow. Mrs. Alice Drablow of Eel Marsh House. Dead, don't you know?
Yes, that's more like it.
Mrs. Drablow was, as they say, a rum. Have you ever heard of Nine Lions Causeway?
No.
Nor ever of Eel Marsh in Shire?
No, sir.
Nor ever, I suppose, visited that county at all?
I'm afraid not.
Living there, anyone might become rum.
I've only the haziest idea of where it even is.
Well, my boy, go home and pack your bags. Take the afternoon train from King's Cross, changing at Crewe, and again at Holborn. From Holborn, you take the branch line to the little market town of Christen Gifford, and after that, it's a wait for the tide.
Tide?
Yes, you can only cross the causeway at low tide. That takes you to Eel Marsh and the house.
Mrs. Drabnose.
Yes. When the tide comes in, you're cut off until it's low again. Remarkable place. Years since I've been there, of course. My father took me. Yeah, she didn't care much for visitors.
Was she a widow?
Yes, from quite early in the marriage.
Any children?
Children? No. According to all we've been told, no, there were no children.
Did she have a good deal of property or land?
Well, she owned the house, of course, and a few properties in the town, shops with tenants, that sort of thing. There's a poor sort of farm, half underwater, and the usual small trusts and investments.
It all sounds pretty straightforward, then.
It does it not?
May I ask, why am I to go there?
To represent this firm at our client's funeral.
Oh, I'd be quite happy to go to Mrs. Drabnose' funeral, naturally.
There's a bit more to it than that, Arthur.
The will?
Yes, I'll give you the details to read on your journey, but principally you're to go through Mrs. Drabblow's documents, or private papers, that sort of thing. Wherever they are and whatever they are, and bring them to this office.
I see.
Yes, Mrs. Drablow was, as they say, somewhat disorganized. It may take a while.
A day or two?
At least a day or two, Arthur.
Well, will there be anyone there to help me at all?
Oh, yes, I made arrangements with the local chappie. He'll be in touch.
But presumably she had friends or neighbours.
Eel Marsh House is far from any neighbour.
And being a robin, she didn't make many friends, I suppose, huh?
Come, Martha, look on the bright side. Think the whole thing is a job. At least it'll take you away from all this for a day or two. You reach Christen Gifford late this evening. There's a small hotel you can stay in tonight. And the funeral is tomorrow at 11.
I had to inform my landlady that I would be away for a couple of nights, and scribble a note to my fiancée, Stella, to whom I hoped to be married the following year. After that, I was to catch the afternoon train to a remote corner of England of which, up until a few moments ago, I scarcely even heard.
Drablow papers, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Holmes. You know, for all this a strange part of the world I'm going to, it shall be a relief to leave behind this appalling fog and unhealthy atmosphere. And you still feel unsure as to whether to go through with all of this?
Why, certainly.
In spite of having performed as you've just done.
But there are so many things we cannot represent. How do we represent the dog, the causeway, the sea? How the pony and trap?
With imagination, Mr. Kipps. Ours and our audiences.
Well, I would be obliged if you'd inform me how imagination will create a pony and trap upon this stage.
Here. Trap. And here.
It doesn't instantly say trap to me.
But ride on it, don't you, Mr. Kipps? And with a whip, and with recorded sound of a pony's hooves, believe me, nothing in the world can say it clearer.
Except the pony and trap.
Let's not be finicky now, Mr. Kipps.
Well, I have to admit, the recorded sound was a wonderful idea.
No, and there's more, much more. Tomorrow we're on a train, and with more surprises. So, look, as you can see, I've divided up the lines again and cut many of those descriptive passages in favor of recorded sound, Mr. Kipps. Recorded sound.
Nothing could raise the spirits more than the sight of this great cavern of a railway station, glowing like the interior of a blacksmith's forge. Beyond the windows it is quickly dark, but when the carriage blinds are down, all is as cosy and enclosed as some lamp-lit study.
This is Crewe Station. Passengers for Hummerby, please change here.
At Crewe he changes with these and continues on his way, noting that the track begins to veer towards the east as well as heading north. It is only when he comes to change again at the small town of Hummerby that he begins to feel less comfortable. For here the air is a great deal colder and blowing in gusts from the east with an unpleasant rain upon his breath. And the train in which he is to travel the last hour of his journey is ancient and comfortless.
It's a poor night. I seem to have swapped one kind of inclement weather for another. I left London in the grip of the most appalling fog, and up here it seems cold enough for snow.
It's not snow. Wind will blow itself out and take rain with it by morning.
I'm very glad to hear it.
You're staying in it. But if you think you missed the fog by coming here, you're mistaken. We get bad frets in this part of the world.
Sorry, frets.
Sea frets, sea mists. They roll in from sea to land and across the marshes. 1 minute clear as a June day. Next, terrible. But if you're staying in Critton Gifford, you'll miss the worst of it.
Ah, yes, I'm staying there tonight at the Gifford Arms Hotel. I hope to go out and see something of the marshes later.
Drablow?
Sorry?
Mrs. Drablow? You don't say you're a relative.
Oh, no. I'm her solicitor.
Bound for the funeral, I suppose.
I am.
You'll be the only one that is.
Oh, yes, I gather she was something of a recluse. And sometimes away with old ladies, they grow inwards, grow eccentric. I suppose it's what comes from living alone.
I dare say that it does, Mr.
Oh, Kipps. Arthur Kipps.
Samuel Daly. Living in a place such as that, it comes a good deal easier.
Oh, come now, you're not going to start telling me strange stories of lonely houses, are you?
No, I am not.
Well, all I can say is that it's a sad thing when one lives to be 87 years old and can't count upon a few friendly faces to show up at one's funeral. And how far have we to go?
Well, Miles, it's a far-flung part of the world. We don't get many visitors.
I suppose because there's nothing much here to see.
All depends what you mean by nothing. You'll find Critton Gifford a hospitable enough sort of a place. We tuck ourselves in with our backs to the wind and get on with our business. Here, should you need anyone.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, but I doubt I shall. Whatever practical help I need, I'm sure the local agent will provide. And I don't intend to be here for more than a day or two. But thanks. Thanks all the same. The Gifford Arms was as comfortable a hotel as I could hope to find. I began to feel more like someone come here on holiday than someone come to attend a funeral. My dearest Stella.
You're a friend of Mr. Daly's, then, sir?
No.
Oh, not wishing to pry on me, I saw you arrive in his car.
No, I just met him on the train. He was good enough to bring me up from the station.
Large landowners, Mr. Daly. Buying up half the county.
In that case, I may be doing business with them myself before the year is through. I'm a solicitor, looking after the affairs of Mrs. Alice Drablow of Eelmarsh House. Perhaps you knew her?
I knew of her.
Well, it seems that her estate will be coming up for sale in due course.
I doubt whether even Samuel Daly would go so far.
Not sure I understand you. Isn't there a farm a few miles out of the town?
Huggets, 50 acres underwater most of the year. Huggets is nothing.
Well, there's also Eelmarsh House and the land surrounding it. Would it not be practical for farming?
No, sir.
Well, maybe Mr. Daly will want to add a little bit more onto his empire. You imply he's that sort of man.
Let me tell you, you'll find no one, not even Mr. Samuel Daly, having to do with any of it. I wish you good night, sir. You can have breakfast at any time in the morning, to your convenience.
There seems to be a propensity for leaving conversations to hang in the air whenever Mrs. Dravlow's name is mentioned. People close up, change the subject, or leave the room. I suppose it's inevitable. These small, out-of-the-way communities have only themselves to look to for whatever drama and mystery they can extract out of life. And I would not think it unfair to say that country people, particularly those who inhabit the remoter corners of our island, are rather more superstitious, more gullible, more slow-witted perhaps, certainly more unsophisticated than those of us who encounter the metropolitan experience every day. Doubtless in such a place as this, with its eerie marshes, sudden fogs, moaning winds, and lonely houses, any poor old woman might have been looked at askance. Once upon a time, after all, she would have been branded as a witch.
Admit it, Mr. Kipps. Secretly, you're enjoying this.
I'm grateful to you for your assistance, but I can't say I'm enjoying it.
Oh, now, look, every day you've come here, you've grown in confidence and stature.
Yes, but this is merely practice. What you call rehearsal. I fear it'll be altogether different in front of an audience.
You know, for all you deny it, you damn well will be an actor. Now, tomorrow. Oh, well, look, tomorrow I should like to work straight through to the end.
In one?
If we're able. How does that seem?
I have a horror of it. Watching you, it is as if I relive it all moment by moment. But you will never suffer as I did. I must keep telling myself that.
Yes, but don't think I don't feel for you. I have a child, too.
You have?
Yes, a daughter. She's 4.
And well? And happy?
I thank Providence.
Love her. Take care of her. Well, till tomorrow then, and tomorrow, with any luck, I shall have a surprise for you.
Excellent, Mr. Gibbs, excellent. You have a theatrical's instincts, if not his enthusiasms. Till tomorrow, then.
Till tomorrow. Mr. Kipps?
Yes.
Mr. Jerome, your agent here.
Oh, how do you do,
I trust you spent a comfortable night?
Do you know, I can't remember when I slept as well.
Yeah. This is sorry business brings you to this place?
Yes, but you must know, I never actually met Mrs.
Yeah. If we were to step out now, we'd be about right for time.
I must say, Mr. Jerome, my first impressions of your little town are entirely favourable.
Oh, yes, busy day for us, Margaret. They come from all over.
Although I'd like to experience it in happier circumstances. Our funeral garb seems to be at odds with the prevailing mood of the place. Tell me, is it my imagination, or are we the subject of scrutiny, Mr. Jerome? Those men there just turned away when they caught my eye. And there,
It's only a short walk to the churchyard.
I suppose you and I must look like a pair of gloomy ravens in the middle of all of this. You and I, Mr. Jerome, are the spectres at the feast. Oh, I take it she's to be buried in the churchyard.
That is so, yes?
Is there a family grave?
No, at least not here.
Somewhere else, then?
Yes, but the area is unsuitable.
Not sure I am, just... Oh, here we are.
I know that my Redeemer liveth, that he shall stand in the latter day upon the earth. And though after my skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see God, whom I shall see for myself, and mine eye shall behold, and not another. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, Death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? But thanks be to God, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. Man that is born of woman hath but a short time to live, and is full of misery. He cometh up and is cut down like a flower. He fleeth as it were a shadow, and never continueth in one stay. In the midst of life we are in death. Of whom may we seek for succor, but of thee, O Lord, who for our sins art justly displeased? For as much as it hath pleased Almighty God in his great mercy to take unto himself the soul of our dear sister here departed, we therefore commit her body to the ground, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Very poignant ceremony. You tell me, that woman, she looked so desperately unwell. I hope she can find her own way home. Who was she? The young woman with the wasted face. Behind us in the church and then in the graveyard, just some distance from us.
The young woman?
Yes, she was tall, skin stretched terribly over her face. She wore a bonnet type of hat. I suppose trying to conceal as much of her face as she could, the poor thing. Mr. Jerome, are you all right? You look unwell.
I did not see a young woman.
But surely, there she is again. Mr. Jerome, let me help you. Here, take a few steps back to this bench. I'll rest. I'll go and get help. I'll get a car.
No.
But my dear man.
No. I would be quite all right. It'd be better if you just walked back with me to my offices in Penn Street, just off the square.
You quite frightened me just now. I didn't know what to think.
It's only a passing faintness. I deeply apologize. I'm quite all right now.
I hesitated to ask, but if you're feeling recovered, am I to take it you'll bring me to Eelmarsh House later?
No. I shall not go there. If Keckwick will take you. You can cross any time after 1 o'clock. I take it you have a key? Yes. You'll find Keckwick perfectly obliging, though not very communicative.
Well, I'm rather getting used to that. Oh, Mr. Kipps, I have to stop a moment. You said you had a surprise for me, but I had no idea it would be that.
Oh.
Where did you... That is the most remarkable coup de théâtre I've ever experienced.
Oh, really?
Excellent and devastating and terrifying. How did you manage it?
Well, I worked hard, as you said, time and tears.
But from nowhere, Mr. Kipps. How do you set about it, huh? Oh, very well. I understand. One must appreciate the magic, but not ask how the magic works. But I do appreciate it.
You're very kind, sir.
And you, sir, are a true theatrical. So, shall we proceed?
If you wish.
And will there be more surprises?
Well, I'll do my very best, though I can't be entirely confident. Mr. Kipps.
Aye, you're not David Keckwick by chance. Oh, this is wonderful. I was expecting a car. Oh, this is a remarkable corner of the world, Mr. Keckwick. Sky and sky. Only a strip of land. This must be how those great landscape painters saw Holland or that area around Norwich, don't you think? No clouds at all today, but I can imagine what that huge area of sky would look like with brooding storm clouds over the estuary. Oh, it is quite startlingly beautiful. It's the wide, bare openness of it all. I never expected such a place. I would have come 1,000 miles to see this. And that, I take it, is 9 Lives Causeway. Ahead, the water gleamed like metal, lying only shallowly over the sand. A narrow track led directly forwards, and I could see how, when the tide came in, it would be quickly submerged and untraceable. And then I saw, as if rising out of the water itself, a tall, gaunt house of grey stone with a slate roof. It stood like some lighthouse or beacon or Mortello tower. The most astonishingly situated house I'd ever seen or could ever have possibly imagined. Isolated, uncompromising, and yet somehow handsome. I simply sat for a moment, taking in the atmosphere all around me. I felt a strange sensation, an excitement mingled with alarm. No, I wasn't afraid. Of what could I be afraid in this strange and beautiful spot? Marsh birds singing, the wind. How long will the causeway remain passable?
Till 5.
Now look, it would be quite ridiculous for you to be toing and froing twice a day. I think the best thing for me to do will be to bring some food and drink and my things and stay here a couple of nights. That way I'll finish the work a good deal more efficiently and you'll not be troubled. So perhaps if I could return with you later on this evening, and then back again first thing in the morning, according to the tides. Or perhaps you prefer to wait with me here now, although I shall be a couple of hours. Do you know what's best?
And so, imagine if you would, this stage an island, this isle a causeway, running like a ribbon from the salt marsh through the sea, the only link between this gaunt grey house and land. Imagine Arthur Kipps, alone there now, a tiny figure, lost in the immensity and wideness of marsh and sky, dwarfed by the house, alone amidst the mysterious, shimmering beauty. He feels the key in his pocket, but does not go inside. Instead, he walks away from the house, towards the fragmentary ruins of some old church or chapel. To the west, on his right hand, the sun is already beginning to slip down in a great wintry golden red ball. To the east, sea and sky have darkened slightly to a uniform leaden grey. Imagine now a burial ground. Imagine 50 gravestones, most of them leaning or completely fallen, covered in lichens, mosses, scarred pale by the salt wind, stained by years of driving rain. Names and dates are now barely decipherable. Imagine him now grow conscious of the cold, the bleakness, the eeriness of the spot. Decide to return to the house, to switch on a good many lights, to light a fire. Now see him turn.
Beyond the wall, the grass gave way within a yard or two to sand and shallow water. The salt flats ran until they merged with the rising tide. I could see for miles. There was no sign at all of the woman in black, nor any place where she could possibly have concealed herself. I did not believe in ghosts.
the time he reaches the house, he is in a lather of sweat from his exertions and the extremes of his emotions. For a long time he does not leave the dark wood-panelled hall. He wants company, and he has none. He wants light. He needs reassurance, but more than anything else, he needs an explanation, for he does not believe in ghosts.
But out in the marshes just now, I saw a woman whose form was quite substantial, and yet, oh God, the expression on her face, that desperate, yearning malevolence filled me with indescribable horror and dread. And she vanished in a way that no living human being could possibly have managed to. I did not believe in ghosts.
What other explanation is there?
Hall, staircase, kitchen, scullery, drawing room, sitting room, dining room, study.
Nothing unpleasant. No shades of Miss Havisham. No rubbish piled in corners. No half-starved dogs or cats. A damp, musty, sweet, sour smell there is, but is that remarkable in a house situated as is this one? Furniture, good, dark, solid, old-fashioned. Bureau, tables, desks, bureau. Papers. Papers in bundles, in boxes. Letters, receipts, legal documents, notebooks, papers. All of which he must examine. A huge task, and one which there is little point in starting now, as it is too late and he is too unnerved.
Oh, how one old woman could have survived day after day, night after night in this house, I can't imagine. I should have gone mad.
He decides to leave the place till the following morning. It will be an hour before Keckwick returns. If he steps out well, he will be back in Crith and Gifford in time to save him turning out. The causeway is still visible. The roads back are straight. He cannot possibly lose himself. Imagine him now, striding ahead, small and insignificant in that vast landscape. As he walks, he summons up the image of the black-robed figure, persuades himself she had not disappeared as he had thought, but that there must be some dip or slope into which she had concealed herself, for he does not believe in ghosts. He puts her from his mind, walks on, struck by the absolute indifference of sea and sky to his presence. Then, from this reverie, he becomes aware that he cannot see for more than a few yards ahead, and that behind him, Heelmar's house is quite invisible.
A thick, damp sea mist, fine, cobwebby, impenetrable. Oh, the sea frets Mr. Daly spoke of.
He must turn, retrace his steps to the house, and wait till Keckwick comes for her.
The mist was salty, light and pale, and shifting constantly in front of my eyes, so that I felt confused, teased by it. As if it were made up of a million live fingers that crept over me, hung on to me, and then shifted away again.
Step by slow step he goes, baffled by the moving, shifting mist, praying to reach the house. A nightmare walk until...
Oh, thank heavens, Keckwick! Keckwick! Over here! Over here! Keckwick! 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 Keckwick!
In despair and fearfulness he goes about the house, switching on as many lights as he can make work, in the vain hope that their glow might be seen across the misty wasteland.
Every door was open, every room orderly, dusty, bitterly cold and damp, and yet somehow stifling.
One door is locked.
At the far end of a passage that led away from 3 bedrooms on the upper floor. Locked. No keyhole, no bolt on the outside, and oh, I can feel it. I can hear it. Wanting me, calling me. Who are you? What do you want from me? Who are you? What do you want from me?
wait for a fret like that to clear itself. No crossing when a fret's up. Unfortunate for you, that was. Then there's the wait for the tide. Awkward place, this. You'll be finding that out fast enough.
What time is it?
Nigh on to.
Oh, it's very good of you to come back at this hour. I wouldn't have expected that of you.
Wouldn't have left you over the night. Wouldn't have done that to you.
I heard your cart going under into the quicksands. How do you come to be here? How did you get out? I fell into some sort of trance, half sleeping, half waking, rocked by the motion of the cart. I knew I had entered some hitherto unimagined realm of consciousness, and that there was no going back. That the woman by the grave had been ghostly, I now not believed, no, I knew. For certainty lay deep within me. And I began to suspect that the Polian trap was the child who had cried out so desperately and who had been drawn under into the quicksands, that they too had not been real, not present, not substantial, but ghostly also. For what I heard as clearly as I now heard the rolling of the cart and the drumming of the pony's hooves. And what I'd seen, the woman by the grave of Mrs. Stradlow, and then again at the old burial ground, I had seen! I would have sworn that on oath. And yet they were, in some sense I cannot understand, ghostly, unreal, things that were dead. Mr. Jerome.
Yes, won't you come in?
I trust you're feeling fully recovered after your experience at Mrs. Stradlow's funeral.
Yes, thank you, yes.
No doubt you're wondering why I'm here. You see, I had no idea, and I don't know whether you had, of this sheer volume of papers belonging to Mrs. Stradlow. There's tons and tons of the stuff, and most of it I've no doubt so much rubbish, but it will have to be gone through item by item nevertheless, so it seems that unless I'm able to take up residence in Criffin Gifford for the foreseeable future, I shall have to have some assistance.
I can't give you any help, Mr. Gibbs. Oh, no.
Oh, no, I wasn't suggesting that you would do anything personally, but perhaps, do you have a young assistant?
No, I am quite alone. There is no one. I can't give you any help at all.
Help me to find someone, then. Surely the town will offer up a young man with a modicum of intelligence, keen to earn a few pounds that I might take on for the job.
This is a small place. Young people leave. There are no openings.
But I'm offering an opening, albeit temporarily.
You will find no one suitable.
Mr. Jerome, what you mean is not that there is no young person or older person for that matter that can be found. You're shying away from speaking the truth of the matter, which is that I should find no one willing to go to Eelmarsh House for fear of the stories about the place proving true, for fear of encountering what I have already encountered.
Keckwick came back for you?
Yes, I'm more grateful than I can say.
Nothing Keckwick doesn't know about Eelmarsh House.
Do I take it he fetched and carried sometimes for Mrs. Stradlow?
She saw no one else.
Not another living soul?
There are stories, tales. You can discount most of them, but...
Yes, but not all.
You saw that woman in the churchyard?
I saw her again, out by the old burial ground. Well, I'm not going to be put out by a ghost, Mr. Jerome, or by several ghosts. My work here has to be done. I doubt if the woman in black can have any animosity towards me. What who she is, or was, I scarcely know how to refer to her. But I must face it, Mr. Jerome. Such things one must face.
So I said once.
Mr. Kipton. Are you all right?
Sorry, Jerome was terrified.
No, you yourself. You would seem to be in a state of emotion.
My emotions had become so violent and so extreme. It was as though I was living in another dimension. My heart seemed to be beat faster, my step to be quicker. Everything I saw was brighter.
Look, can you go on?
Yes.
Can you go on to the end?
Oh, yes. Let us go on to the end. Let us be done with it, for God's sake.
Mr. Daly!
Mr. Gibbs, how's things with you?
Fine, I thank you.
And your business?
Mrs. Drablo's estate? Well, we'll soon have that in order. Although I must admit there has been rather more to it than I first anticipated.
You went out to the house?
Certainly. Tell you the truth, I'm seeing the whole thing as something of a challenge.
Mr. Gibbs, you're whistling in the dark. You're a fool if you go on with it.
Look, if you mean that I should stop doing the work that I've been sent here to do and just turn tail and...
I'm not going to fill your head full of women's tales. You'll find those out fast enough if you ask about the place. Maybe you already have.
No, just stories, rumours. And Mr. Jerome turning a little pale.
But you went out to the house.
I did, and I had an experience that I admit I cannot explain, and one that I should not care to repeat. It seems to me, Mr. Daly, that I have seen whatever ghost haunts Eelmarsh House. It's a woman in black with a pale, wasted face. For I've no doubt at all that she was what people call a ghost, that she was not a real, living, breathing human being. Well, she did me no harm. She neither spoke nor came near me. Although I did not like her look, and I liked the power that seemed to emanate from her towards me even less. But I've convinced myself that it's a power that can do me no more harm than make me feel afraid. So, if I go there again and see her again, I'm prepared.
And the Napoleon trap?
You know of that?
You shouldn't go there.
I'm afraid I'm going.
You shouldn't go there alone.
It seems I can find no one to go with me.
And you will not.
Oh, good gracious, man. Mrs. Drablow lived there for, 60-odd years now. She must have come to terms with whatever ghosts haunt the place.
Perhaps that's just what she did do. But you're set on it.
I am.
Then take a dog.
I haven't got a dog.
I have. Take her. Bring her back when you're done.
Oh, will she come with me?
Do what I tell her.
Oh, hello. Oh, what's her name?
Spider.
Oh, hello, Spider. Oh, well, I must admit, Mr. Daly, I've been very, very glad of the company. Thank you very much. Come on, Spider. Oh, Spider. Come on, Spider. Come on, Spider. Come on, girl.
The next morning he crosses to the house on a bicycle lent him by his landlord. The little dog Spider bounds behind. The sun is high. The very air seems purified and more exhilarating.
There they lay, those beckoning, glittering silver marshes. I could hear the mysterious silence and, once again that place aroused a response deep within me. I'd fallen under some sort of spell that certain places exude so that it drew me, my longings, my imagination, my very spirit towards itself.
He lights fires, airs sheets and blankets, opens windows, draws up blinds, and sets himself to work in one of the bays of the morning room.
Well, Spider, huh? Now, have you ever seen a more worthless collection of papers, sir. I do believe that Mrs. Drablow kept every bill, receipt, and Christmas card she ever had. There's even shopping lists. Would you believe it?
It is pretty tedious going, but he perseveres patiently enough, untying and cursorily examining bundle after bundle of worthless old papers before tossing them aside.
What about a breath of fresh air, girl? Yeah. Stretch the legs. Come on, go. Spider! Rabbits! Well, now. Last time I was here among these graves, I saw that woman, huh? Where is she now, then, Spider? Huh? Where is she now, girl? In loving memory of something net Humphrey 190 something, and of her loving something L. Drablow. Spider! Come on, girl.
He returns to the house and to his task. Already the air is turning colder, the sky losing its light. On into the evening he works, and Spider is an excellent companion. He is glad of her gentle breathing and occasional scratching and clattering about that big empty house. But his main sensation is one of tedium and a certain lethargy, combined with a desire to be finished with the job and be back in London with his dear Stella.
Another day or two, and then we'll be done. Anyway, time for bed. I wonder, Spider, with Mr. Daly, let me bring you home with me to London, eh? You'd like Stella. Not sure you'd like London. Yeah, here we go. Good night, Spider. Good night, girl. What is it, Spider? Stay with me, girl. Stay with me, Spider.
He gropes his way back to his bedroom and looks out. There lie the marshes, silver grey and empty. There is the water of the estuary, flat as a mirror, with the full moon lying upturned upon it.
There's nothing. No one. The slightest of breezes. Nothing more.
In the morning he wakes to a change in the weather. When he looks out he can barely discern the difference between land and water, water and sky. All is a uniform grey, with low thick cloud and a drizzle.
I cycled back to Crichton, Spider pounding behind me. There was a letter from Stella, full of exclamations of regret at my absence and pride in my newfound responsibility. I had the landlord's wife refill my hamper, and I purchased a good strong torch, and then, with Stella's letter warming my inside pocket, I cycled back, whistling as I went.
He works through the day, clearing paper after paper. Then, after supper, as a diversion, he begins to read some old letters he has found.
They were dated from the February of about 60 years ago, and the summer of the following year. All were addressed to my dear or dearest Alice, and signed for the most part Jane, and occasionally Janet. They were sent first from the manor house of a village some 20 miles from here, and later from a lodge in Scotland. The writer, a young woman and apparently a relative of Mrs. Drablow, was unmarried and with child. At first, she was living at home with her parents. Later, she was sent away.
In Scotland, a son was born to her, and she writes of him with a desperate, clinging affection. Pressure has been put on her to give him up for adoption, but she refuses, saying over and over again that they will never be parted.
He is mine. Why should I not have what is mine? He shall not go to strangers. I shall kill us both before I let him go.
Then the tone changes.
What else can I do? I am quite helpless. If you and Morgan are to have him, I shall mind it less. I suppose it must be.
The last letter of all is written in a very small, cramped hand.
Love him. Take care of him as your own. But he is mine. Mine. He can never be yours. Oh, forgive me. I think my heart will break. Jay.
In the same packet is a simple document declaring that Nathaniel Pearson, the infant son of Janet Humphrey, has become by adoption the child of Morgan Thomas Drablow of Eel Marsh House, Critton Gifford, and of his wife, Alice.
What is it now, Spider? Huh? What is it now? Stay with me now. Come on, stay with me. Been there. No one. There was no way out of the room except by the door I had just come from, and no one had passed me.
There's a child's nursery, a bed in one corner, made up and all complete, with pillows, sheets and counterpane. Beside it on a table, a tiny wooden horse and nightlight. In a chest of drawers are clothes, underclothes, day clothes, formal clothes, play clothes, clothes for a small boy of 6 or 7. Beautiful, well-made clothes in the style of 60 years or more ago. And toys, most neatly and meticulously ordered and cared for. Lead soldiers arranged in regiments, a farm set out with barns and fences, a model ship complete with masts and sails of linen, a whip, a spinning top, ludo, halma, draughts and chess, pens and brushes, inks and dice, and a black doll with raggedy arms and legs.
They might have been here half a century, and yet They could have been played with this very afternoon. There was nothing here to frighten or harm me, just a curious sadness, a sense of something lost or missing, so that I too felt a grief in my own heart. How can I explain it? I cannot. But I remember it as I felt it. Will this night ever end? Oh, torch! God help us, Spider, the torch! Who's there? What do you want from me? Who's there? What do you want from me? Candles! Candles! Oh, Spider, come on!
Confused. Early enough. As I said, I had you on my mind.
Strange.
Strange? Not as it seems to me, not strange at all.
No.
Oh, people have drowned in that marsh before now.
Oh, I know that now. I could feel myself being pulled under. Oh, the dog with me, Spider.
She's here, she'll do. Now, you better get whatever you need and we'll be off.
Off.
I came to see how you're doing in this godforsaken place. I have seen. You better come back home with me and recover yourself.
Just go and gather my things. I shan't be long.
Up you get, we'll be home in no time. Up.
Nathaniel Drablow, age 6, cause of death, drowning. Rose Judd, nursemaid, cause of death, drowning. Janet Eliza Humphrey, spinster, age 36, cause of death, heart failure.
You've come a long way since that night we met on the late train.
Seems like 100 years ago.
Come through some rough seas.
Do you suppose that Mrs. Drablow was haunted night and day by the ghost of that woman in black?
Janet Humphrey? She was her sister.
Do you suppose she had to endure those dreadful noises out there? If such was the case, I wonder how she endured it without losing her mind.
Perhaps she did not.
Perhaps. Was there something I still did not see? If I'd stayed there longer, would I have encountered more horror?
That I cannot tell.
Oh, but you can tell me something! Ah, you put a good distance away from the place and my nerves are quite steady and can't hurt me now.
No, not you, Arthur, not you.
What are you holding back, huh?
You, Arthur, will be away from here tomorrow or the next day. You will never see nor hear nor know of this damn place again. We have to stay here. We have to live with it.
With what? Huh? Stories or rumors of the sight of a woman in black from time to time. With what?
With whatever will surely follow. Sometime or other. Griffin Gifford has lived with it for 50 years. It has changed people. Those who suffer most say least. Jerome, Keckwick. Janet Humphrey gave up her child, the boy, to her sister Alice Drablow, because she'd no choice. At first she stayed away, hundreds of miles away. But in the end, the pain of being separated from him, instead of easing, grew worse. And she returned to Critton. Took rooms in the town. She had no money. Took it sewing, acted as a companion to the lady. At first Alice Drablow refused to let her see the boy at all. Janet became so distressed that she threatened violence. And in the end her sister relented, just so far. Janet could visit very occasionally, but never see the boy alone, nor ever reveal her true relationship to him. But no one ever foresaw how he would turn out to look so like her, nor that the natural affinity between them would grow out. He became more and more attached to Janet, and as he did so, he began to grow colder towards Alice Drablow. Janet planned to take him away, that much I do know, but before she could do so, the accident happened, just as you heard. The boy, the nursemaid, the pony and trap, and the driver, Keckwick.
Keckwick, but surely...
Keckwick's father. And the boy's little dog, too. That's a treacherous place out there. As you found out to your cost, mist comes suddenly, the quicksands are hidden.
So they all drowned.
Janet was watching at an upstairs window, waiting for them to return. They recovered the bodies eventually. They left the pony and trap that were held too fast in the mud. But from that day, Janet Humphrey began to go mad.
Was there any wonder?
No, mad with grief and mad with anger, and a desire for revenge. She blamed her sister for letting them go out that day, but it was no one's fault. The mist comes without warning.
Out of a clear sky.
Whether because of her madness or grief or what, she also contracted a disease which caused her to begin to waste away. Flesh shrank from her bones, colour was drained from her. She looked like a walking skeleton, a living spectre. Children were terrified of her. She died eventually. She died in hatred and misery. As soon as ever she died, the hauntings began.
Well, Mrs. Drablow is dead. There, surely the whole matter will rest.
Whenever she has been seen, in the streets of the town, in the graveyard, on the marshes, however briefly, and whoever by, there's always been one sure and certain result.
Yes.
In some violent or dreadful circumstance, a child has died.
What, you mean by accident?
Generally by accident, but once or twice through illness, which struck them down within a day or night, or less.
And is this any child or a child of the town?
Any child, Jerome's child.
Well, look, children do sometimes die.
They do.
And is there anything other than coincidence to connect these deaths with the appearance of that woman?
You may find it hard to believe. You may doubt it. We know.
I do not doubt, Mr. Daly.
You may find it hard to believe. You may doubt it. You may doubt it. We know. We
I do
know.
not doubt Mr. Daly. Mr.
We
Daly.
know.
I do not doubt Mr. Daly.
We know. We know.
And now it's your turn.
I have no story.
A flower Daly Jones.
Dead, don't you know? Have you ever heard of the Nine Lives Causeway?
Stella, scribble a note to Stella.
Dead, don't you know? 1 minute as clear as a 2 days. The next, Stella. Grab it over and say.
I said,
You can hardly be more twice to be there.
That would be great.
I have not seen a young woman. Stella. Check it was up for you.
How did you get out?
Left you over the night. Stella, you were right, no one should know.
Woman. And now the dog. A woman in black. Something woman in black with a twisted face.
She is mine. Mine. He can never be yours.
Stella! He's mine! Spider! My friend! Spider, come back! He can never be yours! Stella! Stella! Never! He can never be yours! Stella!
There is only one thing left to tell. Within a few weeks, Stella and I were married. And a little over a year later, Stella gave birth to our child, a son, who we called Joseph Arthur Samuel. And Mr. Samuel Daly was his godfather. I never thought of the past. I was happy and content in my life. I was in a particularly happy frame of mind one Sunday the following summer. We'd gone to a park 10 miles or so outside London. There was a happy, festive holiday atmosphere about the place. A lake, a bandstand, stalls selling ices and fruit. Families enjoyed the sunshine. Stella and I walked with little Joseph taking his first unsteady steps, holding on to her hands between us. One of the attractions on offer was a pony and trap. on which rides could be taken. And little Joseph pointed excitedly. And so, because there was only room for two, Stella took Joseph. And I stood watching them bowl merrily down the ride. They soon went out of sight and around a corner. I began to look idly about me at the other people enjoying the afternoon. And then, quite suddenly, I saw her. Our baby son had been thrown clear and against a tree. He lay crumpled on the grass below it, dead. And 10 months later, Stella too died from her terrible injuries. I had seen the ghost of Janet Humphrey, and she had had her revenge. You asked for my story, and I have told it. Enough. Enough, enough.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And is it done? Will it rest, do you think?
I pray that it will. But I thank you for your enthusiasm and your effort. Your emotion just now, watching you was as if I watched myself.
Aha. I just imagined my own child.
Yes, well. Perhaps now, when we show it to our audience at last, it will be done with.
Well, who is she?
I beg your pardon?
You're surprised, Mr. Kidd. She is remarkable. Where did you find her?
My surprise was that I'd learnt my words.
Yes, you learned them expertly, but the woman, the actress, the woman in black, you had her come here and walk through her part. The young woman with the wasted face.
A young woman.
Is there anything the matter? You look unwell.
I did not see a young